Well, prior to his experience with prostate cancer, Charles was already ingrained as one of the top individuals in the community, not only in central Indiana and throughout the state, but around the country. Charles was known for his service and what he did in terms of making Indiana Black Expo an organization that was formidable in the minds of African Americans from coast to coast. So he already had stature. Then when he became ill with prostate cancer, being the person that he is, he decided not to let that go without being an opportunity to serve even further. So it became his mission to let everyone know not to do what he did, and that was refuse testing, not go in and check on your health, simply ignore signs and symptoms, and simply exist in sort of just ignorance to what the dangers of the disease could be. And eventually it progressed and he was diagnosed in stage 4. And Charles just made it his mission at that time, rather than to wallow in the mire and feel sorry for himself. He wanted to continue doing what he had been doing all of his life, and that was serving people. So he wanted to make everyone aware that they should, men in particular, should be aware of their health, and specifically prostate cancer, which disproportionately affects Black men in America. Well, I had the distinct pleasure of being able to co-author with Charles Williams That Black Men Might Live. It became really the pet project of his most challenging stage of life. It kept him going. Charles was not going to leave until that book was completed, until he had an opportunity to share his experience with the world. And it wasn't for any personal gratification. He wanted the book to exist because he wanted the storyline to let everyone know that if you check early enough, if you get tested for prostate cancer and it's discovered in an early stage, it's one of the most curable cancers that exist. Most men who catch it in stage 1 or 2 have simple procedures that correct it for elongated periods of time. Charles had the ironic situation of sponsoring a brainstorming, the largest health fair in the nation for African Americans, and he walked through every year in July at the Indiana Convention Center, every year, commending those who were being tested, commending those who were doing the testing. And yet he never stopped to be tested for anything while that health fair was going on. So he wanted this book to serve as a reminder to everyone how important health concerns are, particularly to men. The whole concept of the mobile prostate cancer examination unit, which now has tested literally thousands of men around the state of Indiana since his death 10 years ago, and has saved lives. This was his vision, and it actually came to fruition while we were doing one of our extensive interview sessions. And jokingly, Charles said, there are some men so resistant to prostate cancer exams in particular, and going to the doctor in general, that they probably wouldn't get up from the couch and go get tested, even if there was a unit in their driveway that was offering them a free test. And after laughing about that, his genius started thinking, why not? He was a person who always looked at things that didn't exist and say, why shouldn't it exist? Such as the Circle City Classic and all of the concepts that he brought together for a summer celebration and that kind of thing. So he said, let's work on that. Let's see what it would take to get a mobile testing unit that could go into the neighborhoods and test people for prostate cancer. And the visionary was able to make his vision come to reality. And when you see that van, it's a reflection of his wanting to have a legacy that was not just something symbolic, but something that had real meaning for people today and for years to come. Get tested. Prior to helping Charles write the book and our long discussions on it, I'll be honest about it, I was in my 50s and I had never been tested for prostate cancer. I can't even really tell you that I really knew very much about the prostate function, where it was located, the significance of it. So he convinced me personally that it needed to happen. And through his speaking publicly after the book was out, through his interviews, through his exposure in the media, public service announcements, and all the work that he did after the book was written, he made other people aware. And as a result, literally, lives have been saved.